Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, continuing Alan's route. It's been 100 years, literally in the game, not literally in real life, but whatever. Anyway, during that time, Lost York transformed into an entirely different place. Only the sound of the ocean waves remained unchanged. Together, Alan and I took a stroll on an empty beach. Where do you want to go today? Let's see, where should we go? We held hands as we gazed at the sky above. Lost York was no longer our home. If we stayed at one place for too long, people would question our eternal youth. Our old home at the pillow shop had been demolished because of its aged infrastructure. Since leaving Lost York, we never stayed in one place too long and changed our lifestyles each time. When we lived in Baltimore, we had an oyster business. It's kind of interesting, though, like this to be able to see now. In Crunch Canyon, we opened a souvenir shop and made wood carvings to make a living. I like it doing this, like, okay, let's flash back over the last 100 years, as opposed to, like, you know, going through each little segment for, like, a chapter or something. You know what I mean? In Wishington, Alan became a middle school teacher. How fucking adorable. Could you imagine if your middle school teacher was, like, this fiercely hot? Like, what the hell? In every place we lived, there were countless new experiences, joyful moments, and sorrowful goodbyes. We had lived in numerous towns, leading so many different lives. Finally, nearly a century later, we ended up back in Lost York. Lost York sure is nice. It always feels like home. It's where we first met, Alan. I mean, to be fair, it's not like you could come back every 50 years because you're like, okay, 50 years later, some of the people that you might have run into at the pillow store might only be like 70 or 80. You know what I mean? Yeah, so 100 years, you're guaranteeing that all the people that you ever met are dead. But also the implications now, actually, all our friends are really fucking dead. Shelby's dead, Eli's dead, Robin's dead, Gil's dead, Raoul's dead, Ryuki's dead. Did I miss anyone? Jupiter's not dead, he doesn't count. But, like, everyone is fucking dead now. That is so sad and depressing. They died a while ago, but still, shit. Now if you harped on that, if they brought it up and she was like, wow, thinking about the people I knew in my first life before I died and was reborn, like, Gil and Shelby, and then thought about how they all died, or like brought up them and like, oh look, and then, you know, and then tell you how they all died and like how long they lived and the life they had, then it would be fucking melancholy and depressing, and I could totally get you feeling sad and lonely or whatever because all the people you knew were dead. But like, you know what I mean? Then I would vibe with what the game is trying to put out and make me feel sad because we have to move. But I'm like, but I don't feel sad and lonely. I mean, yeah, I guess it's sad when you're like, oh, we made all these friends and now we gotta leave. Yeah, sure. But you have to prepare for that when you're a demon, and you could just not associate with people. And you shouldn't feel lonely because you have Alan. So you've now had 100 years to get used to this, is all I'm saying. It's where we first met, Ellen. Yeah. As we took in our surroundings, we immersed ourselves in our memories. Back then, Right Skirt Beach used to be filled with couples around this time of day, but right now it was just us. We walked slowly along the sandy shore. I've also not had... Hey, there's trees here. I don't remember there being trees here last time. Look at how old the bridge looks. It actually looks like a Golden Gate Bridge and not the Silver Gate Bridge like it used to be. It's interesting, like, that it's basically feels like it's become a wasteland in 100 years. The cars that once raced all day on Silvergate Bridge were now rusty, and there weren't as many as before. Baltimore was the new hotspot. Recently, we'd heard that many people had moved from Lost York to Baltimore. Okay, that makes sense. Perhaps that was why it was so quiet here now. Felt a little lonely. When did they write this game? Was Were they looking at like when everybody was like piecing out of fucking California because it was like too expensive on the West Coast? And it's like, it's too expensive on the East Coast. Now fuck off, go back. Like, or like during COVID when all the people were like, fuck living in New York City. Let's all move south. It's cheaper there. And you're like, you know what? It's not anymore. That, you know why some of us live where we live? Because we could afford it at the time. And then you with your like $2,000 a month rent for your 2 square foot apartment now coming down here jacking up rent so a normal house is like $3,000 a month. And you're like, what the fuck? Nobody can afford this shit now. Thanks a lot. Go back to New York and go live in your fucking cardboard boxes, okay? Go back to living in your tiny little closets that you're paying like $2,500 a month for and leave the rest of us to our normal fucking rent prices. Peace out. Go away. Seriously? Seriously. You know, just because you finally realized living inside of a shoebox and paying nearly $3,000 a month is stupid, don't bring that down here to the rest of us living in the South where we were like, yeah, we enjoyed paying $1,500 a month and actually being able to stretch our arms and legs. And now we can't. Because like everybody from the North and expensive places moved down and it's like, they were like, we can charge twice as much now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, maybe for the yuppies that came from up north, but not for the rest of us. That's not nice. I'm one of those people. I came from New England, so whatever. But still, that's why I moved here, because I couldn't afford to live in New England. You know what I mean? Jesus. Couldn't afford $3,000 rent. Anyway, perhaps that was why it was so quiet here now. Felt a little lonely. Oh my god. If she says fucking lonely one more time, I'm literally going to quit this game and we're not going to finish it because I'm getting tired of her, like, pity party of loneliness over here. I get it, like this, like, oh, it's a little lonely here because it's like, it's empty. I get what you're trying to say, but she just keeps harping on how lonely she is that it's like, don't, like, when you're saying it in a normal context, it makes me want to smack her. I spotted a sandcastle that someone had built nearby. We watched as the crashing waves slowly destroyed the half-built sandcastle. Obviously, the sandcastle we had created back then was long gone. But something about this moment deeply hurt my soul. Yeah, you're becoming like a big whiny pity party, and I really hope this turns around, because if this whole route's going to be like depressing and whiny like this, I'm not going to, like, we were having a good time, and then it got depressing and whiny, and I'm just kind of regretting at this point saving this one for last, because Raoul's was really great and a high, and this one is just like a whiny pity party, and I'm not vibing with it right now. We were having a great time. We were in the very beginning, and then she just started getting to be a sad sack. It was as if everything we'd built could be swept away easily by the ever-changing world, just like that sandcastle. I mean, yeah, it's reality. With no one around, we turned into our demon forms and spread our wings. We wanted to view Lost York from above. We're also lacking on CGs. At least if you're going to have like a whiny little pity party game, like, give me some good CGs or something. Then we landed at a specific spot. It was D'Amour Paradis. Okay, now we get a CG. It's like a flashback. It's exactly the same, but we've cut our hair, so our hair's different. I kind of dig it. Alan's hair looks slightly different. I think it's supposed to be different. But it doesn't look too different to me. I mean, I guess maybe it's a little bit darker, but like he has the little ponytail, but maybe it's not there. I don't think it looks different enough, but at the same time, you can't change the love interest too much. You could change us though, but I like our little short bob hair. It's cute. Although girl needs to get a new dress because that dress is so fucking 100 years ago. To be fair, it's 120 years ago because she's wearing that all the damn time in all of the like games that took place 20 years before Alan's did, and now she's wearing it again, and it's been 120 years since then. So like, shit, girl. It went out of style and came back into style and has gone out of style about 3 or 4 times, but I think it might be out of style by now. There's a difference between vintage and like maybe it's time for an upgrade. Just kidding. But like if they were gonna go through the trouble of chopping her hair and making her look totally different. And also she has like brown eyes now. Actually, they're red. I guess maybe because she's more demon now than she was before. That could be it. But like, you could have at least changed her dress. You know what I mean? Just feel like you could have done that, but whatever. This place is in ruins now. Yeah, but it brings back memories. It sure does. We came here for a honeymoon nearly 100 years ago. But it feels like yesterday. Although, and again, when I was saying we need more CGs, I didn't mean give us the exact same one but change her hair a little. Like, that's not really what I meant, but fair, I guess. You were so much more childish back then. So pure and innocent. Oh, please. Isn't that the same thing? It's not. To me, they mean completely different things. I see. Alan, you seemed more worried back then. Really? Yeah, you looked worried that I would vanish the moment you took your eyes off me. I see. Maybe. But sometimes I still get scared. You could just fly away. I could fly, but I'd always come back to you. You promise? Yes, I promise. You're the home I'll always return to, Alan. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'll always come back to you. Yeah. I do think it's interesting that they did her more demon form, you know what I mean? Like, red eyes, she's got a little bit of the blue left, but then her hair's like a little more, a darker orchidy color instead of the light pastel-y pink purple. Alan reached out and gently touched the tips of my hair. He smiled with a hint of sadness in his eyes, but he didn't say anything more. I think he still felt guilty even now. As time passed, I looked much more like a demon. When it was just Alan and I'd lower my guard, and without realizing it, my true self would emerge vividly. So I smiled at Alan to reassure him I was happier now than ever before. Tell him physically, tell him verbally. I feel like we should tell him verbally. Like, physically is nice, but I feel like we should tell him verbally. No, it's physically, okay. Sure. I hugged Alan tightly, burying my face in his chest. I mean, I guess after 120 years, he should be able to read that. I didn't know of any other way to express my happiness. I don't know how I could ever vocalize my feelings, but I don't need words to tell him. Spicy. Spacey, thank you. He called my name and hugged me back. I could feel his emotions through our touch. It was enough to bring tears to his eyes. Even after a century, his worries remained. I always reassured him that we'd always be together. Still, he reached for me, worried that I would disappear. He moved his face closer, and our lips touched lightly. I kind of understand, like, on his side, because, like, you were angels together, you were, like, soulmates, whatever, and then they plucked you away, you know, and then he lost you, and then finds you again, knows who you are, and then you almost get taken away from him again type of a thing. And then technically you do, because you die. Like, he does that. He's responsible for that, so there's got to be a little bit of guilt weighing on him, even though he was giving you your best shot because he didn't want you to, like, cease to exist. And so, like, he's lost you twice at least, you know? So, like, I kind of absolutely understand his paranoia, to be fair, you know? So, he moved his face closer, and our lips touched lightly. You're so warm. We gazed into each other's eyes and smiled. We've kissed countless times already. That's why I could tell from the moment we touched that he still harbored sadness and regret. At our wedding, he wished for my happiness, the way a human would experience happiness. But happiness has many forms. I wanted him to understand he didn't need to feel guilty. Remember when we went to Diamor Paradis with Sylvie? Yeah, feels like a lifetime ago. Well, it technically was. I hope he's doing well as Cupid now. He was always so hardworking. I bet he's great at it. Yeah. As we thought of Sylvie up in Celestia, we felt a sense of longing. Hey, Alan, there were many sad things that happened, but there were lots of fun things, too. Yeah. The joy we felt as humans and angels, you gave me both. I've lived so many lives. An oyster shop owner, a shopkeeper, and a teacher's wife. Alan, the happiness you've given me is more than any human could ever feel. I'm happier than ever, so don't make that face. Spacey. I'm happy as long as I'm with you, Alan. It doesn't matter if it's heaven, hell, or the human realm. So let go of that guilt. You don't need to worry about me all the time. I just want you to experience a human life. I did, twice over. Well, not really. One full actual human life, and then I pretended to be human for a few years. Alan paused suddenly. He knew that the simple life of a human was no longer possible. We couldn't settle anywhere. We were wanderers. He looked troubled. He seemed to consider that our life wasn't very human-like. I mean, here's the thing, we are experiencing human life in short term, in short bursts, in like short stays. But she's had a real human life. She didn't go from birth to death. She went from birth to like, okay, now I'm a demon, right? 20 years. But you still grew up and did all that. And now you don't really have to deal with the fuckery that comes with getting old, because it all goes downhill at a certain point. And you get to live a ton of different lives, because a lot of humans live life wishing that they could go out and do these certain things and like, oh man, this is my dream, but they can never achieve those dreams because of whatever circumstances surround them. You know what I mean? It could be health issues, it could be monetary issues, it could just be where you were born and just an inability to do things. You know what I mean? So you get to live out every hope and dream you could ever fucking have. So you're living a better human life than humans, to be fair. You know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, you have to deal with the pain and suffering and, like, bad things, because otherwise the good things don't feel as good, you know? But for them, it's like, yeah, so you gotta move and that's sad. Okay, great. But, like, you get to go and, like, we can run an oyster shop, and you know what? Now we'll go be ski instructors, and now we can do this. And you can live all these different dreams and things that most people don't ever get the chance to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, every single person probably has a dream that they will never fucking achieve. Or had a dream as a child. Oh, little Timmy wants to be a dinosaur when he grows up. Well, guess what? You could go be fucking dinosaurs. Timmy's never going to get to be a fucking dinosaur, but you can. You know what I mean? Like, so like you have a better human life as a demon than you would as a human. You know? It's not the full human experience, because yeah, you're not going to like make friends and grow old together and then all die together and shit. But like, I mean, sure, but at the end of the day, I don't know, if you were given the opportunity to spend the rest of your life with the person you love the most. All right. In her situation, she doesn't have, it's not like right now you'd have to abandon all your family. She doesn't have family. Okay. Alan is the only thing she has. So you get to spend the rest of your life with him, making every possible dream you could ever have come true, going into a bunch of different places, being a bunch of different things. Yeah, okay, there's a little bit of sadness that comes with the fact that, like, you can't stay in one place for long and you got to pack up and leave and you don't get 100% human experience, but you're still getting a human experience that most humans don't get, you know? So it's almost like different sides of the same coin. Yeah, you're not going to get to grow old in the same place forever, raise a family, whatever. But most humans don't get to just travel and not worry about financial stress and, you know, oh, I can just go be a teacher without fucking certifications for it. You know, or have all the time in the world to try out every fucking hobby they ever wanted to try. You know what I mean? So, like, there's good and bad things to both sides, but you're still getting a human experience. You know what I mean? So I'm like not sure why you're bitching about it. Like, I don't know why they're bringing up these things and making me mad and like annoying me with this. Like, I don't know. We were doing so good, but now we're just in this like, is this a whole, like, please, I'm going to need to take a left turn somewhere and get out of this sad fucking melodrama, because it's just kind of, I don't know, it's frustrating. And it's like, I just wanted you to have a normal human. Oh, boo, I'm sad. And why are we sad melodrama going on? This is not what I signed up for. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not here for this. Like, I'm trying so hard to understand it, but it just gets really aggravating as it goes. Like, can we stop having these sad pity parties? Like, I get Alan being like afraid of losing us. Yeah, absolutely. I'm here for that. But then being, I just wanted you to have a normal human life. Okay, it's been 120 years. I'm going to need you to get over it now. Okay? Like, get over it. Because you're dragging everything down and then she's all lonely and you're all fucking guilty. And it's like, I'm not here for the emo 13-year-olds that I feel like we're being. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too crabby to play this right now, but it's just dragging the whole entire game down. It's making me be like, why are we here? Like, Alan, I really wanted to like your route better than this, but I'm not having fun right now. Like, I don't know. You're just aggravating me with all the sadness. I need something to change so we're not like having these pity parties all the time because it's just like it's not logical. It's like they wanted it to be like melodramatic, but they're just ruining the vibe of the game. Like the game isn't sad and dramatic. It's goofy and weird and out there, and we have fucking robot cars and shit. You know what I mean? And like now we're gonna have a pity party. I don't know. Anyway, he looked troubled. He seemed to consider that our life wasn't very human-like, which I would argue against, but okay. I mean, not 100% human-like, but it's still. I want to give you everything. I don't want our demonic nature to limit you. It doesn't. I never felt limited. Well, we always have to keep moving. Yeah, and there's people that do that because they enjoy that. I like that, though. I get to experience so many different places. It bothered me when people thought you were creepy. You were creepy for how young you looked. They thought the same about you. I'm glad I can understand what you went through. I shouldn't be the only one receiving happiness. I want to share all of our feelings, Alan. I mean, it's gotta be, I guess that would be difficult because then he's like, I'm gonna go be a teacher, and it's like, but he only looks like 20-something. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you were at least, depending on like the amount of knowledge they're accumulating over the last 120 years, is gonna look a little weird coming from like young 20-somethings. You know what I mean? That looks sus. But if you were like in your 30s or 40s and then you're coming out with people like, oh yeah, they've had life experience, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So like, so like when you go and you're like, oh no, I totally got rocket science down, and you're like, but you're 20. It seems a little suspicious. You know what I mean? Unless you're like fucking a goddamn child prodigy, but then you have to be a child prodigy, and that's not normal. You know what I mean? Like, there's not as many of those out there, you know? So that I get things making things a little odd, but whatever. But they're not harping on that. They're harping on the sad loneliness and non-human and whateverness and being, well, they're harping on being 13-year-old moody, like, drama queens over here. And it's like, okay, gonna need you to take some Prozac or something. I don't know. I shouldn't be the only one receiving happiness. I want to share all of our feelings, Alan. Besides, I'm happy that I get to experience life as a demon with you. No matter how we spin it, we're demons. Why not embrace it, please? Instead of embracing the pity party? I can't change what we are, can we? You're right. I've been denying it for centuries. He sighed deeply and closed his eyes. After a moment, he finally smiled. Perhaps I was too fixated on human life. Yeah, we were never human to begin with. I used to be an angel, then became a god. Thanks to Alan, I lived as a human for a brief period of time, but my nature was always divine. As for Alan, he was always a demon after he fell from heaven. Yeah, I wonder why I was so obsessed with giving you a human life. I think it's because I wanted you to fall in love with a human for so long. If you were destined to disappear because of me, I thought I could rebirth you as a human so you could have a longer life. What's longer than being alive for over 120 years? 130, I get it, but you know. I think my prayers from back then became habitual. Alan, he'd wished for my happiness for so long. I hugged him, knowing how he felt about me. I wanted to explore the world. Being a demon wasn't so bad. I mean, I guess they're both decent answers, so I don't know. And honestly, at the moment, honestly, at the moment, I don't really care. Like, I hate to say that, but I don't really care to analyze it, you know, because I'm like, I just want to get past the pity party, which I feel like maybe we're getting there. Maybe we're getting past the pity party now. We're having this conversation, and good, we'll get like, being a demon wasn't so bad as right. You know, we'll get to like, now we can move on and actually get into the route or something, as opposed to like just being sad the whole time. I feel so much happier since I became a demon. Really? Of course. It's not a bad thing to be a demon. I smiled wide and Alan relaxed into a genuine smile. Why do I feel like that's going to come back and bite us in the ass? Being a demon, it's not a bad thing. Again, I don't know. I feel every time they say something, I feel like it's going to bite us in the ass, though. Like, let's think about kids. That's going to bite me in the ass, personally. And then they're like, being a demon's not so bad. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, we don't need to force ourselves to be something we're not to find happiness. Spacey, are you scared of going to hell? Why would I be? I'm a demon. I swished my tail in front of him for emphasis. I've only been there once. I've always been curious about it. Even knowing what it's like. You lived there when you were a lesser demon, right? That's right. Then that's where we should be. That's home for demons like us. Just as the gods belonged in Celestia, demons belonged in hell. Denying that fact felt like denying our entire existence. All right, let's go to hell, where we truly belong. Alan unleashed his demonic powers to create a portal in space. On the other side was hell. I remember being taken there as a reborn human by a demon for a dark feast. But I was no longer a god, I was a demon now. And with Alan, a greater demon, by my side, I had nothing to be afraid of. We held hands and leapt into the abyss. Nibble that finger! Sounds dirty. At last, I felt the lukewarm wind beneath my feet. Alan and I slowly glided down to hell. I mean, his demon form is like, it's so funny though, because he's got like the whale tail pants going on, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're wearing super low pants, but you got a high-waisted thong on, and we're going to see your butt crack if you turn around. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Listen, that wasn't a good look in the early 2000s, and it certainly wasn't a good look when they invented those pants that basically mimicked the thong hanging out of your low-rise pants. Don't know why. But that's what he's got going on. It's bizarre, but sure. This place hasn't changed at all. Alan surveyed our surroundings with caution. I recognized it from my previous visit during that dark ritual. It was eerie and dark, but oddly calming. I hope we saw her looking more like a demon, but that was still in her human-esque kind of form. I really hope she gets an actual demon form when we get to see it. Relaxed yet alert, it was an unusual sensation. Some demons stared at us, then scattered in confusion. Let's go. Sure, but to where? Yeah, we actually do. Look at her little tiny baby horns and her little choppy hair. It's adorable. I love it. Okay, all right. You're turning it around now. Cute. Okay. Now we're in hell. We don't have to have this, like, sad, lonely human pity party thing. Like, okay. We spent, like, an hour on that. So, like, good. Are we done with it? Oh, there's this place that I lived in when I was in hell. I remodeled it a little bit a few decades ago. Let's go. Wait, remodeled? You'll see when you get there. Did he remodel it to look like the old apartment? Because that would be fucking hilarious. Alright. I was wondering, did he remodel it to look like the old apartment just so they don't have to make a new background? Except for out the window is hell outside instead of Lost York. I love that, though. You know what? It's cheesy and stupid, and you just didn't want... You were like, let's just have him remodel it so we don't have to make a new background. Good job. Nice, though. Ellen took me to a place that looked exactly like the home we lived in a century ago. It's cute, though. I get why he did it. It means something to both of them. That's their house. You know, that was always going to be their home, you know? Huh. This is our home in Lost York? What's going on? I looked around in a fit of panic. Aside from the scenery of hell around us, everything inside the house was exactly how I remembered it. My tension suddenly released and I reverted to my human form. Ellen did the same. Well, except for, okay, now she looks normal, but when she was on the carnival ride, I guess that was supposed to be her demon form, but she didn't have wings or a tail or anything like that, or her horns. She just had her short hair and red eyes. So, I thought that was supposed to be, her human form. It would make sense, though, that her human form wouldn't change. But, if that was supposed to be their demon forms, they should have actually made it their demon forms. Not it's their demon forms, but, we're not going to show horns or tails or wings or anything demon-y. We're just, the hair and the eyes is the only thing. I think I'm more disappointed in that CG, then. Aside from the fact that you just recycled one that you already gave us and just changed it up slightly, but not even enough to, like, change her outfit after 120 fucking years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I get in the sprites and stuff, you're not going to do it because, like, it's easier. But, like, in the CG, at least don't give her the same damn outfit that you drew. You know? But then you didn't even add, like, the horns or anything. Like, what was the point of that? See, now I'm mad at that CG. Okay. I just apparently want to be mad at Alan's route. I want you to turn it around and change my mind game because, like, you're just disappointing me left and right in the last couple hours. My tension suddenly relieved. Okay, right. I mean, again, I get why they're not going to change the sprites. Fair enough. But, like, that CG was pointless then, and you really just could have done better with that. You half-assed it to me.
When I heard that house was being demolished, I transported the interior here. It isn't the same 9th Avenue outside our window, but I wanted to keep our first home that we lived in together. I thought this day would come eventually.
Amazing! It was our home. I thought we had lost it, but here it was again. Well, here's the thing, too. They just abandoned everything that they owned instead of, like, packing up everything. Like, that's the only thing I think that I would hate about moving around as a demon. I'm like, all the stuff that you collect or your knick-knack, your things that you decorate your house with, and then they're all just, hell no, you're finding a way. And he has the magic ability to transport it. You have the ability to magic it into a Hermione-like bag. Snap, snap, it's all in this tiny little knapsack. Let's go, all of our shit. That would make packing and moving so much easier. You know what I mean? And you just snap your fingers and it's all magically put away. Cool. So much more fun. God, could you dust like that? Ugh. I wish I had magic. Anyway. It was our home. Okay, no, I read that. Sorry. Yep, there's a bathtub. The bathtub's here, too!
Yeah, we installed it together. I definitely wanted to protect
that. I'm surprised he did this, like, waited until it was going to be destroyed, because, you know, somebody else probably moved into it. Unless they just abandon it and then, like, but, like, you know, technicalities that are not important. It looked weathered, but memories of that day flooded back. I believed that everything had changed, but Alan made so much effort to preserve the things in our life that we found special. Alan, thank you. I hugged him with all my might, and I could tell he was genuinely relieved.
No, I'm just glad that you're happy.
Alan had always felt reluctant about going back to hell, yet he prepared this surprise in secret just for me. And hey, we're living in hell, but we can still kind of pretend we're humans sometimes here. My heart swelled with joy at the sight of our rebuilt home. We had homes all over the human realm, but this one was the first one we shared as newlyweds. It held a special place in our hearts. Suddenly, I spotted something outside the window. Huh? What's that? Owls? And a weird bunny creature staring in at us? The hell's that white thing?
Hey, Alan Melville has returned!
I'm guessing that's what that little white thing is. It's got, like, eyes, but is that a beak or a mouth? It looks like it's supposed to be horns. Anyway. I saw some small-statured demons outside peering cautiously into our home. We gonna need to get curtains. I think they're supposed to be curtains. That's what's over on the right-hand side of the window, that white thing, and then there's like a strip. We're gonna need to close those.
They always show up at the worst times. They're quite annoying. It seems I'll have to scare them off. Sorry, let me handle this.
Alan grinned menacingly as he approached the front door. Yeah, don't peer in our windows, especially when we're having sex. It's gonna be weird.
Ew! Who gave you permission to be here?
Outside, Alan intimidated them, flaunting his demonic aura. The demons quivered in fear. It'd be nice to them.
Eat! Alan Melville's mad! Mad!
They're kind of cute for their creepy little skulls they're wearing on their head.
You were gone for ages. Why return now?
I'm a demon. I go anywhere I want. Alan used his abilities to repel the demons. Their combined screams pierced the air.
Eat! Run!
Fucking... That first one's adorable. Not this one, but the other one that was just here is adorable. This one's probably the scariest one because his skull is really massive. But they're kind of cute and terrifying at the same time.
He'll eat you if you get too close. So scary. Let's stay away from him.
The demons threw Alan a fearful glance and then sought refuge behind rocks and structures. Wow, Alan really is a greater demon. He'd grown so much more powerful since our time in the human realm. I thought I understood the extent of his powers, but witnessing that terrifying demonic stare, I gasped at the true nature of his might. I grasped the true nature of his might. Wow.
I didn't think they'd come near us. They must have a death wish. They never dared to come this close before. Perhaps I've been gone for too long.
As Alan turned back, he saw my astonished expression and looked apologetic.
Sorry, did I frighten you? Don't worry, I warned them, and they won't come near us for a while.
It's okay, I'm fine. Those were also demons, right?
Yeah, they're lesser demons, but the despicable kind. And despite how they look, those things consume humans.
Well, that's terrifying. Why are they so adorable? Like, they're kind of cute in a creepy kind of way, you know? Like, you know? You're like, they're a little creepy, but kind of cute in a creepy way. And that's probably how they get you. Because you're like, look at that, he's kind of creepy but cute. And the next thing you know, he's consumed you. And you just died. Yeah, that's absolutely how I would die. Makes sense. Really? They eat humans?
Humans are their primary food source, but they hardly get to feed. And that's why they're so weak. You know the phrase, tempted by the devil? They prey on the vulnerable or those on the brink of death. I can't stand them. Some things never change.
Alan chuckled dreadfully, watching the retreating demons. Suddenly, a heavy sigh echoed from above. Still saying that. How old are you now? That voice. A familiar voice reached my ears. Seeing the face of an old friend brought tears of joy to my eyes. Who is it? Oh, it's Clarice. Okay. I was like, who? Old friend? I forgot about Clarice. Clarice? I made her a man with that voice, but whatever.
Clarice.
Hey, how have you been? Spacey Alan. There's Clarice's little demon form. She looks basically the same. You know, except for her tits out, but like, basically the same. I like how Alan's got all, like, we've got these cute little dainty girl horns. Come on. Like, look at her itty bitty little wings. Great. How about you, Clarice? See? You didn't need to be all lonely and melancholic and brooding like a fucking emo 13-year-old in the humor world. You could have come down here and now you got a friend to hang out with. And like bats. And there were owls outside your window. I mean, cool enough. Great. I've sucked so much vigor from humans. Her voice is not working right now. Clarice licked her lips as she winked at us playfully. Seeing that her mannerisms hadn't changed, I felt my heart burst with joy. I've missed you, Clarice. I hardly saw you in the human realm. Were you worried about me? Thanks for that. I was in the human realm just now, but I'm usually here. I prefer hunting at night. Lately, I've been using Wishington as my hunting ground. So many hunks there. I'm enjoying my life every single day. Oh, really? Hearing her talk about her hunting ground made me remember that Clarice was a succubus. We were friends in college, but I later found out that she was actually a succubus who entered the dreams of humans to devour their life force. Similar to Alan, I remembered from our college days that she wasn't content with just dreams. I'm glad to see you happy, but if you only go to the human realm at night, does that mean you don't live there? No, I was only pretending to be human to help out that boy next to you. Well, those were fun times. Clarice glanced at Alan, who she referred to as the boy next to me. She treated him like a little kid, because she's... I don't know if we knew enough about her. I don't know if we know, like, she was just always a demon. She's always been, like, you know what I mean? So then she's definitely older than Alan, because he fell from heaven from being an angel when, you know, whatever. So he hasn't been a demon nearly as long, obviously, as she probably has. But I don't know what her backstory is, or if they told us, or if I just don't remember. Like, was she always a demon, or did she also, like, have a fall from heaven type of a thing too, but just has been here longer? But at any rate, she's been a demon longer than Alan, I figure, so. Based on the way she's talking to him.
Clarice, it really has been a while. I'm glad to see you're doing fine.
You too, but stop with that long face. This place isn't so bad.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
I mean, okay, I guess his horns aren't gigantic either, but you know what I mean. And, like, actually, ours kind of match, because we have, like, purpley ones, and then Clarice's are a little pinky red. We've got purple and pink. I mean, I guess they're like an orchidy. It's like a purpley pink on the tip. It's not quite purple, but it's not really pink. You know what I mean? It's like a pink toned purple. Anyway. Let's look up the hashtag on what that would be in Ryuki terms. But Claris's are more like pink and red. Okay, all right. But we're all like, apparently pink and red, or like pink and purple is the demon colors. So what does it say about me that purple has always been my favorite color? I remember that Claris had taken Alan in when he'd fallen from heaven. Okay, so there you go. That's why Alan could never stand up to Claris. This is like his mom. I wonder how old Claris really is. Considering that she was already a full-fledged demon when Alan fell from heaven, I guess that she was much older than us. Claris noticed my stare and laughed, placing her hands on her hips. How about visiting my place now that you're here in hell? Let's throw a party. Your place? Yeah, at the Claris house, right here in hell. Please tell me it looks like our old apartment. Nope. Okay, I was like, it's all fucking pink. Everything is motherfucking pink. This is great. I would have died laughing if it was our old apartment that we shared. Claris led us to her residence. Ta-da! Welcome to the wonderful abode of Succubus Claris. Her voice is all over the place, I'm sorry, but... Wow!
It's so different from before.
After spending so much time in the human realm, I've grown fond of their interior design. I keep bringing back more decor. Isn't it cute? It is cute. So this is the trend right now? Is it okay to bring this stuff back to hell? I mean, who the fuck's gonna stop you? Yep, there aren't really any rules in hell. We can live as freely as we want to.
We do as we wish. That's the demon way.
Many demons are consumed with the idea of feeding on humans, so they don't care about their homes. I gazed out the window and Claris gave a shrug. She was probably referring to those demons we encountered earlier. The gods of Celestia didn't put much thought into their living spaces either. Maybe that just happens when you're immortal. I don't know, I'd want my living space to be, like, fun and filled with cool shit if I was immortal. Kind of like the way I do it now as a human. Just saying. Like, it makes me sad thinking, like, someday I'm gonna die and someone's gonna go through all my stuff and just, like, throw it out or chuck it away, and, like, who's gonna treasure my treasures like me? That's so sad and depressing. I think of these things. You know what I mean? Like... But my poor precious anime and Otome merch, who's gonna treasure it like I do? You know? So, like, I'm okay with being immortal if it means I get to keep all my trinkets and thingies. Yeah, I like it better. This was something I didn't understand yet. No matter how long I lived, I knew I'd remain fascinated by human creations. Yeah. Being fascinated by humans seemed to be a rare sentiment among demons and gods, so seeing Claris's lovely decorations made me happy. It's been a while since you came to hell. Like 100 years?
Yeah, I think it's been about that long.
As for Spacey... Actually, I came here around a century ago, close to when I was nearly taken for the Sabbath. You were almost taken to the Sabbath?
Didn't I tell you? When I raised her as a human, she was kidnapped for the Sabbath.
Oh,
right. Back then I was injured, so I forgot to inform you.
That makes it even creepier when you say when I raised her as a human. You didn't really, but he watched over us. You know what I mean? But you didn't really. But when you phrase it like you raised me, it makes it a little weird. Oh, was that around the time you brought me those sausages? That takes me back. Oh yeah, sausages! I was in Leipzig, France recently and brought some. Let's have a toast. I think they're called... whatever. I can't pronounce that. Or something. They're called some type of sausages. It's a specialty in Lippen or Lippen, whatever. I don't know. From what I've heard, I can't pronounce any of this French shit. I don't know nothing about no France. In high spirits, Claris fetched the sausages and beer from the refrigerator. Wow, you even have a fridge here? Yep, I redirect the electricity from homes that are partially underground. Isn't that stealing? We're demons, so it makes sense. No worries, I offer them happy and sensual dreams in return. Claris cheekily stuck her tongue out and placed a finger over her lips. Hey, you know, I siphon a little bit of power. And I give you hot, steamy dreams. I mean... And she also, that, like, gives her energy. So, like, she's getting energy for her house and herself. But, like, sure. I decided it was best not to ask for details about her night activities. Oh dear, you're still so innocent, even as a demon. Ellen, you've been too protective. Well, I'm also not going to go, like, mind fuck people, because that's what Alan's for. We fuck each other, not other people.
She's fine the way she is. There's no rule saying that all demons have to act like one.
Unless that's your thing with your husband. Like, you and your husband are demons, and you're like, okay, yeah, but at night, we can give you sexy mind read because fucking someone in their dream is not literally fucking them in real life, so it's totally cool, and that's a loophole. And then you're like, I think I'm going to go mind fuck that guy in his sleep. And he's like, I'm going to go mind fuck that girl. And you're like, okay, cool. And you agree on it ahead of time, and you're going like, sure, more power to you, I guess. You're like swingers, but only in your dreams. Like, because, like, for the person that you're sleeping with in their dreams, right? They're not actually having sex with a demon. You know what I mean? If you have a sexy dream, you're not actually having sex. That's not real sex. That's your brain. It's in your head. It's like a fantasy. It's no different than imagining it. Okay? Whether you're awake or asleep, it's not really your body doing it, so it doesn't count for you. But, like, for the demon, when they're going in your dream, are they actually like, like, he's going in your dream, so is it like the demon's physical self is in your dream, so then it would be cheating? Or is it like, no, I'm using my mind to penetrate your dream and then you, where it's not really them? You know what I mean? It'd be like if two people had a shared dream. Your two bodies are in separate rooms, but you're sharing a dream where you're having sex. You're not really having sex with that person. You didn't have sex with that person. Your dream selves did, right? Right? So you're not cheating on your spouse if you have a sex dream about somebody else. But, like, for demons, like, what's the logistics of when you enter people's dreams? Are you like, I'm using my mind to enter their dreams and control their dreamscape and have mental sex with them? Or is he physically entering their dreamscape with demon powers and then physically fucking their dream self? Where then it would be kind of like cheating. So, I mean, I guess it really depends on the logistics of that and what you agreed on with your husband. And I don't know why I'm psychoanalyzing this, but I'm curious. I'm curious as the logistics, I guess. And that could be a really good spicy end. Is all I'm saying is that, like, oh yeah, Alan and I go out and get freaky with people in their dreams and then get freaky with each other later. You know what I mean? Just saying, that could be a good spicy end. It's not what it's going to give us, but whatever. Well, if you ask me, you don't really act like a demon either, Alan. As a demon, you can do whatever you want.
Why the concern? Is it so strange that we don't act like demons?
What does it mean to act like a demon in the first place? I thought about the legends of various demons. Some were malicious, others were mischievous and a bit more fun. Come to think of it, I've read about fairies who would steal people's things. Fairies included pixies, banshees, and leprechauns. Some did good deeds, while others would cause harm. Perhaps those mischievous fairies were actually demons, much like Clarice with borrowing electricity. Caught in my thoughts, I noticed Clarice observing me. But looking at you now, I guess you seem more like a demon compared to 100 years ago. Oh, really? Yeah, but there's still so much humanity in you. That's probably because you were living as a human for so long. You both have odd habits. Isn't maintaining human appearances tiring? Well, it was so fun, though. Every day felt like a honeymoon. You acted like newlyweds for an entire century? Huh? Yeah, I guess so. Alan and I always lived like newlyweds wherever we went. Assuming he felt the same, I looked to Alan for validation. Unexpectedly, he broke into hearty laughter. 100-year-long honeymoon. I mean, for demons, it makes sense, right? Aw, but wasn't it like that? Every trip we took, you'd always choose the honeymoon package.
I can't deny that. It genuinely felt that way. Yeah, so our honeymoon lasted 100 years, and now we're back.
Alan looked at me with a sad smile, but he finally seemed more at ease since we arrived in hell. You two haven't changed. It's heartwarming to see. Now the sausages are ready. Let's eat. Waving a pan of fried sausages in one hand and a case of chilled beer in the other, Clarice winked. With that, our first party in hell commenced. Cheers! We toasted with our beers. I took a sip and realized how long it had been since I had a drink. The taste of the beer made my eyes light up. This beer is so good. I know, right? I bought it at this craft beer specialty store that just opened up recently. Humans are so wise to keep the culture of booze alive. They've had it since like the BC era, after all. Oh, that's right. The practice of drinking alcohol has been around for thousands of years. I think the only thing about being immortal that would be depressing is like all the food and things that you like. You know what I mean? Like the brands you like would just go out of business probably, and you'd be like, man, I remember when I could get this, that, or the other thing. Like your favorite foods and stuff would stop being like. I have that problem now. As soon as I find something I like, it's like they no longer make it or the store no longer carries it or something. And then I'm like, can we stop? Like I get really excited about a certain thing. Like, yeah, I love that. And then you can't find it anymore. You know, and you're like, what the fuck? So then you find finally a substitute for it or whatever. And you're like, yeah, I know this is good. And then they're going to stop making it. And you're like, why? It seems to only be the things that I like because other things you're like, that's been around that's been here for fucking forever. That, whatever, like Cheerios. Think of all the different flavors of Cheerios. They had peanut butter Cheerios at one point. They came and went like a quick fucking breeze. And the peanut butter and chocolate ones have been around for fucking forever. And they will be around for fucking forever. But they'll never bring back the peanut butter ones. My peanut butter O's that I like. Guarantee you, the goddamn Reese's, like, peanut butter puff ones that are peanut butter lovers ones will somehow they'll stop fucking making them despite the fact that I swear to God, like I wish I would find that out so I just buy cases of, like, I don't give a shit. They will be in my pantry. My mom will laugh at me. These expired like 10 years ago. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. They're fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck? I will be that person who's going to be, I'm like, are you prepping for end of days? No! I'm just prepping for the end of when they stop making the cereal because fuck that shit. I'm sick of it. As soon as I find something I really like, they stop fucking making it. Like, why? Why you gotta do this to me? It makes me so fucking mad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm too old for them to stop doing it. When she was talking about her beer, I was thinking about the Lindemann's, the lambic beers. Like, Framboise is the raspberry one. But the Creek, I think it's Creek or whatever. I don't know how to say it. Whatever. It's cherry. Oh my God. Because like lambics are made with fruit. So it's like they taste like fucking candy. And like, it's not hard to, I mean, the whole bottle is like a pint to be fair. So it's like a pint of beer. So it's not a lot, but it's easy to pound that shit. It is fizzy, goddamn Jolly Ranchers. That's what they taste like. It's so motherfucking good. And like, my mom will every once in a while get them for me for, I'm like, I have like 6 bottles in my pantry because I don't drink a lot, but I hoard them because it's like one day they're the cherry ones are hard to find. The raspberry ones you can find easier, but it's still like, you have to go into specialty stores because they don't just sell it in the beer aisle. And you're like, one of these days, you're just not going to, 100 years later, they just stop making it and you're like, oh, sad, you know? But don't worry, I got like 4 bottles right now in my pantry, so I'm good. Seriously, I think I've had some of them in there for God knows how long, but whatever. Even gods and demons loved alcohol. As I downed the drink, I marveled at the fact that gods, demons, and humans all had this common interest. It's an odd common interest. Also, technically, sex. Sex and alcohol seems to be the common factor here. The BC era. Clarice, just how long have you been alive? Huh? Hey, I'm not that old! What? Really? You weren't aware. I suppose I never told you. That's right. I haven't heard anything. Oh good, we get her backstory. This is fun. To be frank, I don't remember my birth. Clarice tilted her head as she nibbled on a sausage. I'm sure that civilization was pretty advanced, but when was it? You don't remember where you were born? Clarice, then could you have been an angel too? Huh? No way, I'm definitely a demon. I was born one. The Clarice is a true demon. She didn't know anything about Celestia or heaven. I see. Then how are demons born? Do they reproduce like other creatures? I'd assume demons would be born in a way that was similar to humans, but Clarice merely shrugged. Oh god, so then we're going to talk about this and it's like, we're going to will and we're going to have a baby in whatever weird demon way that they spawn. And please don't. Please don't. You already got me back on the game train because before I was mad about you being emo and whiny and melodramatic. And now we're like, okay, we're having fun now. And then you're going to bring up the baby thing again and make me get fucking mad. Like, don't do this. This route is a roller coaster of like, okay, we're having fun. What the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Hey, we're having fun. Don't you dare. Like, I don't know at the end of the day if I'm enjoying the ride, really. Because the low points are, like, really just not good. No, demons don't give birth to other demons.
And they just emerge suddenly. It's the same for angels in heaven.
Really?
Yeah, some demons are fallen angels like me, but typically they're all born here.
So if we wish really hard enough, we can, like, oh god, are we gonna end up, like... But she's probably, like, created magically. She wasn't born like an infant. You know what I mean? So good. Okay, alright. They keep talking about babies, and they keep talking about being born, and they keep bringing it up, and it's just really, 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 really concerning me, is all I'm saying. Oh. Despite being a demon for a century, I realized there was still so much I didn't know about being a demon. I never asked Alan about it. So demons spontaneously come into being and then mature by committing bad things? Exactly. No creature gives birth to us. We just materialize naturally. Unlike humans, demons can't reproduce. We can't increase our numbers intentionally. Good. I had no idea. Demons couldn't increase their population intentionally. The realization made me sad, but I quickly dismissed the feeling. Yeah, good. Don't get into this baby fever bullshit. I still hadn't grasped the true reason behind this pain. Oh, God. Oh, no. They never brought this up in any other route. Why are they doing it now? Perhaps it was because I was just happy to be with Alan. It's the same with angels, right? They just appear in heaven. The gods don't give birth to them.
Yeah, the exact mechanism is a mystery to us. It seems that knowledge of these matters is held only by the deconsentees, and nobody else knows the true origins of angels or Cupid. And there must be some balancing force at work here, because I've never heard about heaven or hell being overpopulated.
Maybe that's true. The number of greater demons hasn't changed until now. You're the first new one in ages. Me? Yeah. Huh. Wait, you didn't realize you're a greater demon? I am? I glanced at Alan, who looked away awkwardly.
Yeah. You became one about 10 years ago.
Really? We could have had a birthday party? We could have had a greater demon coming out party, but you didn't? Rude. Come on. Sheesh, why didn't you tell her? How could I? Why not? Becoming a greater demon is worth celebrating. Yeah, Clarice and I are on the same page here. We could have had a greater demon party. Or are you still stuck on the thought that it's your fault she turned into a big bad demon?
It's not that. It's the way it happened.
Ah, you were embarrassed to tell her because you infused her with so much power, is that it? Yeah. Actually, that's fucking funny, though. I didn't want to tell you that I fucked you so goddamn hard. I fucked you into being a greater demon. That's amazing. Actually, I love that. Okay, you know what? I'll give you a pass, because this is funny.
Well, not exactly.
Power? A demon could transfer power through one of two ways. One was a demon's kiss, the other was... How funny that it only took a century for her to become a greater demon. You must feel awkward saying that out loud. Clarice! Don't worry. I've been sucking lots of energy from human men. It only took me about 100 years, too. It means you're a superior demon, just like me. I did the same amount as Clarice? It was an honor to be a greater demon, but considering Clarice's depraved nightlife, I had mixed feelings about this revelation. Yeah, but she's out, like, you're thinking she's depraved because just the number of times she's had sex or the number of people she's had sex with? Because, you know, to be fair, she's been a demon for like 100 years. She's had a lot of partners. The number is high. Okay, it's definitely in the triple digits, if not more. Okay? But like... And that's enough for anyone that's ever spent any time as a human to be like, whoa, that's a little excessive, even though you're a demon and like, You don't have to really worry about pregnancy and STDs and all the crazy shit. And you know what? If you're more power to you, I guess, because you don't really have to worry about the logistical things that like humans have to worry about with having frequent partners and things and spreading diseases around or getting pregnant or whatever. So, yeah, have fun with it, I guess. Whatever. You know? So, okay. But it's just like, you're just programmed to be like, whoa, triple digits is getting a little excessive. You know what I mean? She's a demon. She's been alive for centuries. So, like, whatever. But now she's like, oh my God. Clarice is out there banging literally half the population, and I've had sex that much with Alan. That's impressive. It's impressive. I'm so happy you're so eager. These days it's rare to find a demon who's willing to adapt. Eager, huh? That's right. Many new demons are lazy. They're still stuck at lesser demons. Even the succubus and incubus prefer to sleep over feasting on dreams. Sheesh, kids these days. Boomer Clarice coming out here. I love it. Oh, really? Yep, most just eat, sleep, and occasionally hunt a goat or two. Goats? Not humans? I recall what Alan had said earlier about the lesser demons. Clarice simply shrugged. They eat humans, but it's an occasional feast. Those demons are too weak to attack humans in the first place. Are you relieved? Yeah, just a bit. So they mostly hunted goats. It was rare for them to attack humans. She was right. Hearing that gave me a sense of relief. Although it wasn't right for demons to steal, at least they weren't eating tons of humans. But they still hunt humans sometimes, right? That was a major reason why gods would punish demons, since it was the gods' duty to guide and protect humans. The gods never came to punish us while we were in the human realm, did they? Oh, yeah, you're right. That's probably because we weren't harming anyone. That's right, we never harmed humans after all. The gods never punished me either. As for me, it was just once. I remember that time. Oh, Alan fighting Jupiter. But we're a little over time. So I'm going to stop in the middle of the flashback. It's still technically the middle of the scene, but it was a transition to the flashback. So we're going to start with the flashback in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.